There's nobody there, but there's me. How's everybody doing? Arthur here with episode 84,000. And as you see, it's just my beautiful face up here right now because Cox Create can't make it. So anybody here to see his beautiful baby blue eyes, he will not be here tonight. He had family stuff to deal with, which family and real life stuff is a lot more important than toys. But he'll also watch the recap, and I will definitely punish him for not showing up. Judd hasn't responded, so we might not have the Froggy Geezer. He saw my link, but he might have fell asleep because it does happen. And then Paul is late as always. So he's not always late, but yeah. So it's me. You can see my beautiful face. But it's not just me, because you guys are here tuning in because I have a guest that you guys want to learn all about his action figures. Oh, and here is the crooked late man himself. What the hell, Paul?
I know. What the hell? Jesus.
You needed to eat food or some shit?
Some of us work outside of their house.
I don't care. Leave work early for this stream. You need to eat food? No. Toys are more important than food. Feel something like Josh with the kids stuff, like, hey, kids got stuff, some event or whatever, that's cool. But you sacrifice food, sleep, work, making money to come on this show and talk about figures. And coffee does make you poop. That is fact.
It does.
Fact. But since you did make it, Paul, I need you to do a little summoning jutsu to get our guest on. Oh, and there he is. We got Brandon from 9 to 5 Toys. How you doing?
I was just shit it out or something. That was amazing.
I don't know what you did, but it's something stupid that I started. Like, anybody shows up late, I was like, do a little jutsu, and people just like do whatever, and it's pretty much.
It was the coffee, and it's just perfect right now.
I mean, if it's the whole 9 to 5 working in an office, drinking coffee type of setup,
It works out perfectly.
We got some Black Knight in the mix. We got the Canuck in here. I want the Canuck. I don't want to show your super chat because you're saying some stuff that you should, as a moderator. Anyway, he says he should be moderating himself. He says $5 says that I'll be late, and he said let's get this show rolling. And then he said told you, and he's just rubbing in my face that we didn't launch on time. But anyway, Canuck, Black Knight, welcome everybody, welcome, and welcome Brandon again for taking time out of your day to come on and talk about the hobby, the action figures that you're making, and just the community, like your experience and stuff for being a collector and a toy maker.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think every time, like when you started rolling out these figures, it's like they always caught my eye. And then in my Facebook groups and stuff, you'd see people talking about it. I'm like, are these real? Are these real things being made?
I still get random DMs or like comments saying, oh shit, I thought this was like a spoof on like Adult Swim. Like, no,
right?
They're here.
And then I started I started diving into it and stuff. I'm like, you know what? It's no longer a spoof, and it was never a spoof. And then you got some figures that are out there. What I like to do is sort of go around at the beginning and sort of like pickups. If you've picked anything up for the week, if you didn't, no big deal. We sort of just go around and pickups. Paul, have you picked up anything? Have you been playing with any toys?
I actually, I finally cracked open my Valiant Knight, but I got that a couple weeks ago. And I've been playing with it a lot. Right now, he's hanging out with his crow. But this thing is awesome. Like, I really hope that going forward, just all the new bodies that they come out with, I hope they're all really posable, like this one. Like, Four Horsemen, man, I love how, it's like sometimes their articulations kind of like, it's like it's not gonna be the greatest necessarily, but it works usually for most of their figures. But the new Valiant Knight it's like, wow, seeing what they've done with it, it's like quickly becoming probably one of my favorite mythics.
I think a lot of people too with mythics, they sort of forget it's like they're cool figures and they're wearing armor. Your armored knights and stuff like that are not going to be ninja Spider-Man poses. Like
No.
that stuff weighs a lot, and you're not going to get the bends. So I like how with the Valiant Knight, and Brandon, I don't know if you got one in hand. Have you messed with the Valiant Knight from Mythic Legions at all?
That's literally the only figure I bought so far from Mythic Legions because I heard the hype and I didn't know where to jump into Mythic Legions. So I'm a huge fan of Four Horsemen Studios. I've been there a few times and I just was like, I don't know which one to get because if you see me, my obviously my collection's mostly vintage, and truthfully, it's just from a storage standpoint. Like I don't know what to get, but Valiant Knight stood out, and he's on my shelf up there. Actually, still in the package. I gotta open them up actually.
Yeah, I feel like if you're into vintage and you like sword and sorcery type stuff, get a knight, an orc. Just pick, just find some cool, like a knight, orc, maybe, one of the wizards. Just like, and you'll probably, and from there you can kind of figure out where you want to go with it.
Truthfully, I wanted the giant trolls. That's what caught my eye. Those
I have one. If he wasn't so buried with all the other ones on my shelf, I would grab him. But I have the named troll. I have Brontus. But he's like the orange one. So
yeah, those are collectors. I definitely want to grab one of those eventually.
Yeah, I ended up getting the Forest Troll. And I mean, they again limited articulation, but I mean the sculpt work, the paint work, and it's like you're carrying like a little baby. It's like, hey, just let it go. So anything else that you've picked up?
Well, I did order 2 of the Mysteries of Mythos mystery boxes for Mythics. I was like, I'm gonna get one, and then I was like, and then I saw, like some of the stuff that I was like, man, I don't know. Like, I'm hoping that I can get 4 figures that I don't have out of it. It's probably not going to happen. But honestly, I was kind of like working out the math in my head. So pretty much for $150, you get 4 figures. Like that's a deal for anything that's 4 horsemen. Just about. That's like buying it. Just the first offerings usually for stuff. It was like 37, I think, a piece or something like that. So I was like, yeah, I'll just do that because I'm saving money. And they did a flat $10 for shipping.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm doing it. Like, I'll just, like, even if it's stuff that I don't want, I know somebody's going to want them. Whether I sell it or I have a friend who wants it, like, someone's going to want it. So I was just like, I'll just get 2 of them. I was like, I was already pushing it past the one. So, and I know people who got, I know a couple people I talked to online who were like, I got 10 boxes. I'm like, God damn. Like that's dedication I don't have. So
Mythic Legions collectors, man, when they're hardcore, they got those deep pockets.
Well, and customizers, I know the customizers were probably just like, they were probably drooling at all this because they were just like, it's so much fodder for them. And I guess they sold out like 70% the first day, was gone.
Damn.
So I mean, and they must have had a lot of stock because they showed the pictures of the warehouse, and I was like, oh man, like I thought it was going to sell out like sooner, but still 70% being gone the first day is nuts, especially for blind boxes, basically.
What a great way to clear out your warehouse. Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. I'm glad I ended up getting like a lot of stuff that they had actually on their list of stuff that you could get. I had a lot of it and stuff I didn't really need because I try to be like Brandon saying, it's like, where do you start, where you begin? Like Brandon, I started with the faction, and then I eventually got another faction sort of grouped in accidentally because there's a 2-pack that was out there, and then I'm like, all right, I'm going to start picking stuff because you just see the sculpt work and the artwork in them, and you're just like, how can you say no to Apoxis and his horse that looks like it's been soaking underwater dead for a while, you know.
And when you get one of the horsemen, and it's like, I guess I'll get all four because they're just they have such a shelf presence. That was me because I got Arethyr first, who's war, and then I was like, Alithia comes out, the vampire who's famine, and I'm like, like I'll get her too. I like it, and it's like now I got to get Poxus, now I got to get Necronominus. It's like I got to round it out. I got to have all four horsemen, and I don't follow it. Now I just get whatever I want, whatever pops out of me. So.
And now, Brandon, what have you, since you're like, you said you're heavier into like the vintage stuff, like did you pick up anything? Were you trying to hunt something down, or?
No, I was prepared. So I did recently finally got this ship, the Toxic Crusaders like reprint, which was done by Trick or Treat Studios. The packaging is way larger than I imagined, but I'm a box collector too, so this was like an instant pre-order that I got maybe a year ago or something, and they finally shipped it out to me. But look at that design; it's awesome, super clever.
I didn't realize the packaging was going to be so nice, or else I would have picked one up.
I think they're still available.
You can see behind me, I got Toxie's head right there, and I got the vintage. I got a bunch of the Super 7 ones, but like Troma's always going to have a spot in my heart.
Yeah, and then I also got this ship, the Skeletron Wolf Trooper, which is another indie toy maker. Super cool, vintage style articulation. I'm a fan. Beautiful artwork. Beautiful card.
Did you get the vehicle? Did you order the vehicle?
Yeah, it's pre-ordered. I'm waiting for that bad boy. It's still in production. It's a lot of moving pieces. I think it's massive, but it's going to come out beautiful. He's a perfectionist fan, and it's top tier. Like he keeps showing me like behind the scenes. Like this is amazing. I can't wait for that thing.
I mean, just looking at that figure on the card and stuff, it's like they put a lot of effort into that card to keep it nice and the artwork to be clean and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, and the vehicle looks amazing. I saw it and I was like, oh, like I wanted it, but I'm like, I'm so like I got so little room now. And when my his tank came, and I'm like, I'm glad I'm like, oh, because the Joes, man.
Yeah.
Joe vehicles are going to be taking up most of the room.
It's funny during the Kickstarter for them. I feel like they targeted to everyone and specifically made it like you can't have excuse. It's like, oh, it fits in this shell. It also fits in this type of shell. We made it fit these types of characters and these vehicles, like this scale. Like I was like, oh shit, you covered all the bases. Man.
Plus, with the Vanguard coming, I'm sure a lot of the same fans are like, oh man, like
yeah,
a lot of space taken up.
And that's pretty much, I think that's it. Like, honestly, I'm in a very strict no-buy zone right now. So these are, like, I literally say that every freaking month, and somehow something new comes in, but I'm very adamant now because I literally stocked. My shelves are done. I have nowhere else to put it. I have a baby on the way.
Congratulations, man.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Is this the first one?
You hit me up next week. We'll see. Yeah.
Is this the first kid?
Yeah, first one.
Oh man, you're in for a ride. No, my granddaughter just turned 3, and I'm like, being a grandparent's so much more fun.
You just get to spoil now.
Yep, pretty much. Yep.
So the Canuck said that he ended up getting his Dread Knight in. It's huge. He sent me pictures of that. It does look ridiculous.
Sweet.
Those Joy Toy stuff. It's amazing. That price is it's a hard price to swallow.
But the product's so good.
It is. Northern Nomad popped up. What's up, suckers?
Nomad.
I think Canuck says he ordered a Mythic Legions box as well.
Cool.
Joey collects doing a bunch of dabs.
Sick.
And he said, hey Joe. They're saying what's up. Four Feathers in the mix. What's up, Unboxing Art? Paul Hughes, everybody.
What's up, Four
Feathers? Says Mythics. I wanted to do it, but I knew the ones I wanted. I knew I wasn't going to get, man. You just got to dive in sometimes.
Yeah, and honestly, if you like Mythics, like I said, if you like it, even if it's stuff that you already have, it might be fodder. It might be something that you can just sell and, want out there, or just a friend. Let your friends know, like, hey, this is what I got. Does anybody need this? Got
Donald Layton in the house, and then everybody talking trash. saying they're gonna have to hold down the chat, and then Canuck chiming in. It's a riot. Pickups for me, I didn't really get anything new in. It's a lot of stuff's like you're getting charged for this, you're getting charged for this, you're getting charged for this. This is on its way. So I got charged for Mezco Firefly.
Oh,
So I'm
nice.
pretty stoked about that. Got charged for that GI Joe classified, like the SAM site, the missiles, which I was already on the fence. I was like, dude, do I want to cancel it? I got the his tank, but I mean that price point's hard. It's like, and I was like, damn, I forgot. And I'm like, oh well, I guess I got it now. And I got a box coming from Diamond with some the new Captain America, Crimson Dynamo, all that type of stuff.
Nice.
And I think something else is on its way, and I think it might be the Ramen Racer. I'm not sure. Canuck might have to confirm it if he gave my address, because it almost seems like it's from that thing. So my Ramen Racer's on the way. But my figure that I've been messing around with a lot is the GI Joe 80 Years Action Soldier, or whatever you want to call them. It's a very cool figure. The backpack looks awesome, but those pegs on the back are completely useless. If you're familiar with any of the classified figures, their trigger guards sort of pop over this and they stay sort of snug, but all the guns that you put them on there, it's all loose and falling off. So I'm like, you just got this nice looking backpack with these big old pegs.
With pegs on them. You almost got to cut pegs off.
But yeah, I might cut them off. But it's just a really cool way of them saying a big, flipping the bird off the Valaverse a little bit with the modular parts and stuff like that, like popping off. You can pop up all the pouches, the radio. It's sweet. It makes me wish I should have had two, because I had this guy on his knees like that, and then I had the Snake Eyes with the white timber out, and they just look so good together. And like the timber almost reminded me of like Dusty, when Dusty had his little like wolf dog, the canine. Was that version 2 Dusty? I think.
Yeah. Yes, I believe it was.
But yeah, so that's what I've been playing with. And what is everybody talking about? Oh, he said nope, not Ramen Racer. Then I don't know what's something else coming in the mail. Gotta love that.
I love that.
And now your background, it looks like, are those the like Toy Biz X-Men figures behind you?
Yeah. The original. I think I have some duplicates as well, but I got the Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, the first version, I believe, the blue, Gambit, Iceman, Storm, and Magneto, Silver Surfer, and Rogue. But I have a couple others scattered somewhere else.
Some of the best action figures that I had fun, like GI Joes, were like, everybody had GI Joes, everybody loved GI Joes, but when it came to hitting your, I would say almost like preteens, I guess, sort of era, like you're hitting KB Toys and getting the X-Men Toy Biz figures, because they were inexpensive and they were cool as hell. Like I still remember it. I might even still have it. My Trevor Fitzroy Toy Biz figure. He had like the crystal armor that snapped over him, and he was just so badass. And the Toy Biz Random looks better than the Hasbro Random that came out. Like,
what's crazy.
However, the Apocalypse is horrific. Awesome, but it's horrific. It's so bad.
Wait, the Toy Biz one?
The first Toy Biz Apocalypse is so bad. So is the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut's really bad, but fun, super fun, and nostalgic. But it's bad. It's real bad.
I also have the Sentinel back there. If you see that in the box
with the rope.
Yeah.
Where's the box? Where am I not?
The second shelf below the WWF stuff.
Oh, okay, I see it. Man, my buddy bought that, and I was so jealous. I loved just how you take the chest off and you could do all this stuff. I was like, it didn't have a bunch of articulation. It just had action feature after action feature, and I was like, that's a Sentinel. Like, make it super super actiony.
On my wall, I have a couple of the Toy Biz. I have like the Marvel superheroes. I have like Doctor Doom, and I think the only Toy Biz X-Men I have left is Mr. Sinister, who also looks like his face is melted and weird.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah,
I remember as a kid.
Yeah, I love them though. Like that's kind of one of those, because I don't do a ton of vintage anymore, but if I went back into vintage, it would probably be all the original like X-Men, Marvel, Toy Biz stuff. Probably get all the DC like superpowers stuff again.
Mhm.
Like, a lot of fun.
Only thing vintage Toy Biz I have that's on card is the Age of Apocalypse. That's the only
Which
thing.
is awesome.
Wait,
That's
correction.
good.
And I think I might have Kane when he became Weapon X. But it's
Okay.
Ben, so it's not. But
Is that the one where he's got the fan? Like
yeah, the metal arms with the fan arm per
Yeah.
hand. So, but yeah. So everybody. So what really, Brandon, got you into, like, I guess as a kid? Do you have a favorite figure that I'm not even gonna say you're collecting? You're playing with. Like, did you have this one figure that you always had as a kid that just beat everything, and you're like, this is my figure?
Yeah, it was a toss up between. I still have that one too. The Toy Biz. I realize now Toy Biz was a really big part of my childhood. Like looking back at some of the stuff they did, I'm like, they nailed it. Like the play factor, I think. So it's the Toy Biz Batman with the the bat wrap rope that like came out and like
the
literally.
89, the 89 Batman.
Yeah, and I used to just
Yep.
play like on the fire like place that we had, like just literally just have zip up, zip up, zip up, zip up, and then that, and then the metal head from TMNT, like that
Okay.
glowing red eyes. That little play feature was such a cool thing, and I guess I love turtles no matter what, but then the robot turtle was just like, oh, this is even better.
Those are
Cool.
those are
Those
good.
are the two faves.
I remember going through my friend's collection, and we were probably middle school, and he had that Batman, and it was missing its legs, but it still had his arms and the belt feature. And I'm like, why are you not playing with this, dude? Like, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. He's like, you want it? I'm like, yes. So like, I was always like playing with the belt feature. I'm like, he has no legs, but who cares? That's how he gets around. Like it is. Toy Biz was just destroying it back then.
Yeah.
I tried to buy one of the 89 Batmans on card. It was a few years ago at a toy show, and you used to be able to find them like everywhere for a while. You could just, everybody had them, and then I wanted one just so I could have it on card, because that was another one. Like I grew up with, I had that figure too. Like I think that was my Batman figure for the longest time. Was that was the only one I had.
Yeah.
So I totally feel you on that one. Now you don't see it as much.
No, and I picked mine up for like literally $20 or less, and it was kind of crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Good price. I think
Yeah.
the last time I saw one on card, I think they wanted like $50, and I'm like,
I saw recently for 80, and I was like, oh, but okay, cool. The next Batman that I actually definitely I have it too, is the Arctic Batman. That one was by Kenner. It was like a scuba suit. Like it was just awesome. Like I think anything too that involved water, like if I could take it in the bathtub or whatever, I love fucking playing with it.
I loved water squirting anything, like all the water squirting. What was it?
Super Soakers or
No, like Cesspool. Cesspool had the backpack where you could had like the squirting feature.
even the Joker had that too. Oh, I lied. See, my no buys are last weekend. I bought the vintage Joker for steal. I think it was like $10. I was like, of course I'll buy this. Like, it was like in a random toy fair thing. I was like $10, like done deal. The end. Like
that's cool.
Well, just don't let the missus listen to this stream, and you'll never know.
It's on me. Literally, she doesn't even care. It's literally like I have to stop. This is me realizing like I need to stop.
I think we're mostly all in that boat.
we covered our walls.
Donald says, I got the Pup Master 2-pack with 6-shooter and Jester. And then what else? You got the Mecha Frieza. He's a nice figure too. Not 100% happy with how they did the tail, but overall it's a great figure. That's all chromed out. And then we got we got a newbie in the house. Lunda Roland. Welcome. Oh, name's Lindsay. This is my mom's account. Okay.
Welcome,
well,
Lindsay.
make sure your mom's okay with having you watch this. Oh man. But all right, yeah. So you got your original toys. did you ever stop collecting it or stop being a kid at one point where you're like, this stuff's not cool, and you put it in a box and like it got tossed into a closet?
Yeah, I remember the exact freaking moment. It was I remember this like to say. I was so excited. I went to my cousin's house and we lived in upstate New York. And we just saw Small Soldiers, and I instantly fell in love with that movie and the toy line. And I called my mom, who she was coming to see me. I was like, please, please, please bring me Small Soldiers toy. Like, go to Toys R Us, please. And she spoiled me. She brought it to me. I remember unboxing it and being so pissed off that a movie about like how toys aren't depicted and it's a shitty toy, like had the shittiest toy. They literally have like pins where you see where there should be articulation and the elbows didn't move, the knees didn't move. And I was just like, what is this? And at that exact moment, I was like, I'm done with toys. I just remember I was like at the peak of like being a little too old for toys, but I was like, I'm done with it.
Yeah,
that was the end of toys for a while.
What's that?
That was the end of toys for a while.
Yeah, very much till and started this project, which I can get to later. But I stopped collecting toys and doing.
You wanted your toys to have the government chips from heat-seeking missiles or whatever attached it to them.
The minimum bend at the elbows is not too much for a little kid to really want to play with them. And that's one line that I pray that someone just redoes and gives it the attention and love that it needs, you know.
I actually just had that conversation with Brandon from 206 Toys, and he was like, because he loves Small Soldiers and he always talks about how much he wants those figures. I'm like, what? Of all the things that people are redoing, why aren't they like that? That would be like such a great nostalgia hit. I know they made one figure they were making. They were making the main
Chip Hazard.
Chip Hazard.
No, the
Organite Archer.
Archer.
Yeah.
Archer was the one that someone was making that, and they were making. I think they were making a bigger one, like an 8 or 10-inch one, but it wasn't a full line. It's like, why don't you just make a full line? You know, do them 7-inch or whatever it is, and just license it and do it like someone like Ramen or you know, Boss Fight or whoever.
Yeah, I DM Ramen and who else? 5K Toys, is it? Like the other, and it was like, hey, by the way, do Small Soldiers whenever you get to it. And then I think the one I really want to do is, I think it's Robosen Toys. They're the ones that did like that fucking $500 like Robo Transformer that actually transforms, and they have a Buzz Lightyear that moves. I'd be like, that is the company that would do Small Soldiers justice. Like, punch out of the box, walk 2-3 feet, and like hold up his gun. That's all I'm asking. Can't be. Right. We have the technology now.
That'd be an expensive line if they did that for all of them, though.
You know what though? There's people out there though who have the cash and the nostalgia. So you know,
I mean, people are spending money on Hot Toys. So
yeah.
Hot Toys, man, that's one that, oh god, especially when they just the Star Killer and the Revan that they just showed. I was like, oh, you're killing me, Hot Toys. I want it.
Speaking of killing us with toys, there's that thumbnail of the 99 Warriors attacking us.
It's so R-rated.
I mean, it's a little, that's ketchup, you know. It's ketchup down there. And but yeah, no, it was fun. It was fun doing it, and I was like, all right, thankfully he has the 4 figures out right now, so I don't have to try to cram more into this image. But if I do, you know.
I will say this though, because going through your website and stuff, I appreciate how affordable you've made them.
That was my choice, and regret it every day.
Oh, you regret it? Oh,
it's very, like, truthfully, my margins are so slim already, but the goal is to get these toys out there. Like, I'm really not trying to make a buck and to make a profit in the first run. Like, money I trust will come. Like, I want these to get out there to be popular too. I want the series, I want the movie, I want this to go the full 9 yards. So like me trying to nickel and dime and selling them like at 35, which they technically should be, didn't seem like the right objective at the right moment, you know.
Sure.
But I appreciate that too. But yeah, to that, my marketing tactic is doing right. Instead of, I never get an order for just one. It's either 2 or 4.
So, yeah.
Brandy, you already got a question. It says, have you been to Super Nintendo World? Is that a
Yes.
souvenir Bowser hat on the arm of your couch?
Yeah, I went. Me and my buddy went last March to Tokyo, and that was like the main objective. And we didn't know how hard it was to get into that thing. That's like a whole like beautiful tangent of the story. It's just hilarious of like trying to get into Super Nintendo World while we're there. Like I had friends photoshopping me fake tickets and they're like hours ahead. I'm like, please just send it to me. And like I just couldn't get in, and there's like a lottery ticket, but magically I got in, and we spent the whole day there. It was fucking awesome.
That
Well,
sounds awesome.
It sounds like a little bit of hell, but then you're like, all right, I made it in. Like, if you didn't get in, how mad would you have been?
Dude, the whole trip was, I mean, that whole portion of the trip was around Super Mario World. Like, you had to go to Kyoto to take trains. It was like mad. And I didn't realize just how insane it was to get actually inside that portion of the park. But,
Wow.
dude, I know.
All right, so we have some characters, and I think I'm going to try to do this before we get into there. I want to do the little intro video of the groupings that we're going to talk about, so it sort of teases them. We're starting here. Will this work is the question. It's playing it twice. Awesome.
It doesn't really want to do it, does it?
It doesn't want to do it at all because it's still playing, and I'm like, why are you playing right now?
It's okay.
We got this.
Mm.
Oh, there we go. Okay, don't play yet.
Don't do it yet.
I'm playing it from Dropbox, so I'm just hoping this will work. And share this. We're gonna start with this. Can I get any?
Oh, there you go.
Introducing the Break Room Bandits. These rotten bunch of leftovers want nothing more than to see the office crumble. Led by the evil mastermind, Colonel Custard, codename Mad Doe. Colder than the frappe originally ordered with him, he's hell-bent on taking revenge on wasteful humans. Reduce, reuse, revenge. Keeping the bandits in check is Specialist Sugar, codename Unknown. Just don't call her Sweetie, because this beauty is a beast.
Don't mistake my sweetness for weakness.
Known to shapeshift her way out of any situation. When the battle begins, the commandos better dissolve her fast. Always lurking in the shadows, waiting for his chance to be number one, is number two, codename Shredder. Although he's an office supply at first look, he's as rotten as the food that surrounds him. He and Lieutenant Led may stem from the same pencil, but these broken ends will never mend again. Hello, brother. Glad you've come to fight. Finally on the same page. Handling reconnaissance is Commodore Crisps, codename Stacks. His can be in multiple places at once, perfect for sneaking around Commando's forces. Once I pop, we can't be stopped. Ha-ha! Looks like you're outnumbered. Rising from the bottom of the trash comes Sergeant Spore, codename BLT, Big Load of Trouble. This brute force follows Custard's every command without question. Okay, maybe a few questions. After all, his specialty is crunching pencils, not numbers.
What do you think of my commando disguise, boss?
I should have let you cut. When the sheets hit the fan, will you punch into overtime or will you clock out for good? Choose your side as these 9-to-5 warriors battle for total office domination. Each figure sold separately. When you punch out, they come punching in.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that'll get anybody hyped.
It's been a while since I watched that. No wonder why people think I'm drugs. That's just crazy.
No, I love it because it reminds me straight up reminds me of like Food Fighters and Barnard Commandos and that just all that like it just fun toys.
Fun toys, and actually it teased a couple figures that aren't officially out yet. That's probably like wave 2, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know when to do the Kickstarter. I feel like it's a good time now, maybe May-ish, June. But I want to do the next 6. But I'll be doing them in like start off with 2, see if I unlock the next one, and so on.
Well, that's a good thing. So we watched the video of the break room bandits. These are the bad guys. I start with the bad guys because, you know, a lot of people, when they collect action figures, they usually start with the bad guys for some weird reason. So that's sort of, I was like, all right, let's just go that route. And it also helped that they were sort of in that flow of things. So the first one we're going to take a look at is Commodore Crisps. And the artwork is freaking phenomenal on this.
Thank you. That's the beautiful work of Turbo Board for the character art, and then Kuwame Arts for the background. But also work with the designer to make it all sing, which that's for like like I said, I'm a box collector, so I spent like so much time in my head designing this from day one. I was like, I can't wait for the package. I love the toys. I can't wait to do like the full bubble and rip open to it.
And I love if you did rip it open, it pretty much almost keeps this whole image intact.
Yeah, roughly.
You know. And then this does not come on the package, everybody. I typed that on there so it had the name. His name's technically at the bottom of the package. And this is the full-size package of what you'd be getting your Commodore Crisp in. And I like the presentation. This is probably one of my favorite. When I saw it, I was like, that's creative. So like you could have just had them as a stack in one person, but no, you're like, no, let's have them break apart and be 3 individual people, like characters.
Well, that's how his character will be in the show if it ever happens. Like the premise is that he's like kind of, I don't want to say he's a communications like squad. So basically they all split up, and what one minion sees, the other one sees, and what one hears, the other one hears. And even to the extent of like what one feels, so if one gets like punched, the other one all wince in pain. So they share that like hive mind, which is awesome in theory, but when he splits up into too many, like that's where he gets a little whoppier and less reliable and messes up. So it's a fun character trait.
KJ Smith said this guy sold out on Big Bad Toy Store immediately.
Yeah, it's doing good.
He
was the top seller, and then between him and Custard and like Major, like the 3 of them, honestly, also they're not too far from each other, which is a great thing. Like I didn't want one to just be so bad, you know. Like everyone plays, and doing a live show, like at a trade show, it's awesome to see. In the trade shows where people usually pick up one because they're just meeting me in that first interaction, and then like, okay, I'll definitely take one. And then, funny enough, they'll like order the rest of the 3 later on. But it's cool to see them pick up. You know, some of them pick up Scotchy only, some of them pick up Major only, some of them pick up, you know, Commodore Crisp, etc. So I love that like everyone kind of has their own personal flavor, and there isn't a weak character. Thankfully.
Now, where would you prefer people to be getting these from?
So 9 to 5 Warriors is probably the best. They have a great fulfillment that like ships them out practically the same day after time if it's ordered. And yeah, that's, or if you, I'm trying to put up a stockist list. Like thankfully I'm in a couple of stores around the US. So if you can support local, that's awesome as well. 9 to 5 Warriors that.
In Jersey, check out Chubsy Wubsy. You know, he has a good store. Very, very nice store. And yeah, if you're looking for a place to sell some of the figures too. But yeah, so everybody, let's make sure go to 9 to 5 and order them. So therefore Brandon gets all of it and he's not having to split it between anybody else. We need more of these.
He doesn't have very good margins on this stuff. Let's get him with volume.
But here we got a close up of them. That is an X-Acto blade on the blade?
Yeah. So it's like a chopstick with a rubber band and X-Acto knife. And that. So what's cool is that I can't draw, I can't sketch. I do rough sketches, and mostly I'll mock something up in Photoshop. That's my realm. But for these things, like I built stuff and like sent a photo and then had the sculptor recreate it. But in this particular piece, I gave him, like I didn't send him like the example, but I know Scott Hensley did this one by him. I know Scott usually works with his chopstick. He has like a whole desk full of tools, but his chopstick is his number one like tool. So I said make a staff out of the chopstick and the X-Acto knife, and simple, and it's effective. I think it really works well.
Effective. It's probably one of the most vicious weapons that these figures come with. To be honest, like the X-Acto blades are no joke.
Oh yeah, it gets sliced up.
In doing like sculptures and stuff like that, I'll be like, I catch myself like, I'll be like, why are my thumbs all sliced up, and not realizing that you're just cutting yourself when you're trying to trim stuff with the X-Acto blade. But yeah, this figure is just sweet. I love the little military boots, and now I noticed too that the bandits have black boots, and then the other guys have brown boots.
So that's an ode to Food Fighters, and so all the good guys in Food Fighters had the brown boots, and bad guys had black boots. Very good catch. See, those are only for the special people that really catch that. There you go.
But yeah, I loved Foo Fighters, and I think that's what sort of grabs me to this, because there was the company that made I forgot who they were.
Grocery Gang.
They made the Grocery Gang figures. They're cool in their own, but that was the closest we were going to get to Food Fighters, but it wasn't really Food Fighters, you know. And then seeing your stuff where it's like, okay, it's paying homage to such a cool line, and it's 9 to 5 stuff that everybody's seen in an office environment. I mean, it doesn't even have to be an office environment. Everybody eats Pringles in any of their jobs on breaks and stuff, like, oh man, I'm hungry, I need something quick. Like, oh, there's some Pringles out of the vending machine or whatever, you know?
And the idea stemmed 100% from like how, like I did grow up with Food Fighters like later on, like 92, 93, but they already technically discontinued. And I only became aware of them because like my best friend, his older brother had them. So it was like it passed me down, and it was like an elusive toy that I couldn't get. I'm like, oh my God, these are so cool. And they're squishy. What the hell?
Yeah.
But I truthfully, like, Major Eraser was something that I created as a kid. I would always stick like a thumbtack in my pink eraser's eye, use paperclip arms and legs, and like that character was something I played with, and I would create. And then also little monstrosities, like there was a creepy crawlers set that basically allowed you to create monsters and use, you know, a pencil and other things as like the body, and then you slip on the arms and legs. And that set plus Major Eraser was just something I just really created and just loved. So
That's cool.
Like later on, when I became a bigger kid, at like 20 something, and I decided I want to make a toy, Major Eraser first came up, and then Food Fighters came up, and I was like, well, what if it's, you know, I was thinking school supplies versus leftover food, or just trying to figure it out, and I landed on 95 Weird.
Oh, I mean, that works too, and it's like, it's awesome that you just had that imagination and creativity that you don't really have nowadays. Kids aren't really trying to take stuff and make stuff out of it. I mean, I grew up where it's like, all right, you're outside. What do you start doing? You start breaking branches off and making weapons out of them, and you start using your imagination for stuff. And it's cool to say, hey, I grew up with this idea. I loved Foo Fighters. I wanted to add a new character that was my own character to it. You just started having fun and creating stuff. I mean, that's awesome.
It's funny about kids. Like at the recent trade show I did, like the best part was honestly having kids run to the table, stare at the TV that I was playing the commercials with, and they're like this, watching it, and they're going playing with the toys, yada yada. And then I also had something like a paper tank that I have here. So I have this like little paper tank thing that you cut out, and you can actually create like. I wish I had the physical model here. I have to dig for it, but he makes a little paper tank with Colonel Custard in there. And the kid like really loved it, and I was like, "Oh, can I have this?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." And he's playing with the physical made one already. I'm like, "Here you go." And he's like, "Oh, I have to make it? No, thank you."
Oh,
I'm like, "Oh man, like that would like
you have to use your hands. It's like a baby's toy."
Yeah. And like this, I would have killed for it to be on the back of a cereal box or anything like that, you know?
Oh yeah.
How many of us had those styrofoam planes that we put together and throw them, and after a couple throws they were just trash, and you're like, hey, I'll still keep getting them because they're fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that was a little heartbreaking, but I still gave it to him, and the mom was like, I'm making him play with it. Like he should, but the fact that he ended up getting funny enough, Tech Sergeant Scotchy. So going back to like everyone has like their own flavor and stuff. So like the kid just loved the fact that it actually did take tape, and he recognized it instantly. He's like, "Oh, I have tape at school. I can totally use this." And like I saw like gears grinding. I was like, "Okay, it's unlocking his imagination later on." You know, like he's not gonna be sucked into video games for too long.
Which is good. Yeah, I love the designs of these. Just each little stack.
So Scott is a genius. Scott Hensley, for those that don't know, amazing sculptor that's practically involved with half of my toy line, Exo Squad, the bad guys of Ninja Turtles,
I love
Street
that
Sharks,
Wow.
literally an endless amount of Happy Meal toys. And I feel like his Happy Meal toy experience is what like brought this guy to life. Because I gave him the simple, very difficult instructions of like, I need one character that splits into 3. We probably need magnets. We probably need something, blah blah blah, like more complicated in my mind. And he disappeared for a few days and then showed me the wax sculpture of this. I was like, you nailed it. That's it. The end.
Yeah, this is sweet, and I like how
I
they have
wonder
their
if
own little.
he did Happy Meal toys. I wonder if he did the McNugget Buddies.
That I don't know. I have to ask him. I don't think he actually did that. I want to know more of the story of the McNugget Buggies because that thing was just genius, and it's strange that it actually fell off. And like I was gonna say, it's strange that they never brought it back, but obviously they recently did with
Yeah, they were great. The new ones are.
I still didn't get my golden nugget. I was like,
I didn't either. I didn't
If
find
you didn't
either.
get any of them, Brandon, I could probably send you some doubles. Like
Oh, please, yeah, I'll take whatever you got, man.
I like
That's the one thing. I wanted to go pick up some, but I was also like, I don't want to be tempted to eat McDonald's because then I'll never stop.
No, you would, because after like the first 2, I was like, I can't, and I go and get them. I'm like, I don't want to eat this, and then I'd get a double of the nugget, which made it worse. And I'm like, this is awful because it was just such a waste of it was a waste of money when you're trying to get the different versions.
Yeah.
See, I got a teenager, so I would I'd get the food and give him the food and take the McNugget Buddy. I was like, that's the cost. You get the food, I get the McNugget Buddy.
I don't have any kids, and Brandon, you got one that's
I got one on the way.
So.
But it's like truthfully, the Nugget Buddy should have been a staple for all these years. Like, imagine if they kept that going.
Yeah.
Like, all the IPs that you can attach to it, plus it's a staple for McDonald's. Like, it's
They-
endless.
They did the Fry Guys the same way.
Yeah, the Fry Guys was awesome too. That's the next thing. If and when eventually I'm gonna buy more stuff, I actually want to just start purchasing a lot of the Happy Meal stuff. Like that was just a massive part of my childhood. From the Monopoly thing, games to the Fry toys, the McNuggets, the transfer.
Yeah, what are they called? Interchangeables or whatever. Yeah.
And like little spy gadget things. There's really awesome stuff that McDonald's was actually pushing out. I was like, this is super creative, you know? It's weird that they just fell flat.
Before they started going super cheap on the stuff, you know.
I was actually a manager at McDonald's like years and years ago, like 25 plus years ago. And we had so many cool toys that would come through. We had yo-yos, like the full size, like Yo Mega yo-yos that we were like doing Happy Meal toys with. And those things were awesome.
That's cool. Do you remember what was the popular toy at that point?
Okay, so yeah, so it was in 1999. So there were a lot of Disney toys that were super big at the time, but we had Beanie Babies. Yeah, the Beanie Babies were like the biggest thing. Like people like fist fights.
Yeah.
Would start over.
I don't remember if it was 99, but yeah, I thought it was a little earlier, but yeah, Beanie Babies, I remember those like
Oh no.
McDonald's ones just killed it.
The Beanie Babies stuck around for at least a couple years when I was there. So yeah, they were there for a while. And then there was like there was like I think one I said it was like 101 Dalmatians figures were really big one year. There were I wasn't there for the Inspector Gadget. I missed the Inspector Gadget. The first Build-A-Figure. Like,
I think it was huge too once you put it all together.
oh, it was massive, and now people are still like trying to get a hold of it.
Found one of those.
Yeah. So those was, but like even it was funny because the Hot Wheels, because they would do the Barbie and the Hot Wheels. So it was always like, oh, you want a boy's toy or a girl's toy? And the Barbie toys were pretty big with the girls, but the Hot Wheels, like all the Hot Wheels collectors came out of the woodwork. So
That makes sense.
I'm buying it for my 5 kids. You don't even have any kids.
Oh no, there were guys who would come in and they would just be like, I don't want any of the food. I just want the toy. It got to the point where the owner of because it was an owner operator McDonald's. The owner, he was just like, he made a toy button. He was like, yeah, just sell the toy. And I mean, you'd be buying like a single toy for like $5 back then, which is like that was like the Happy Meal was probably $2.99 at the time.
Right, so no custard.
Canuck was saying that his cousin has the Inspector Gadget build a figure for McDonald's.
Oh yeah, that thing was crazy. But I love this.
I love those styrofoam planes growing up. Yeah,
Oh,
they were good. They're all talking about their Joy Toy 40K stuff. A lot of Joy Toy 40K collectors in my chat.
That's a deep hole. That's a deep hole that I fell into for a little while, and I slowly crawled myself out of.
Yeah, I fell in, but I'm like, all right, I got to get more Grey Knights because they're pretty awesome. So, but speaking of awesome, again, amazing artwork on this Colonel Custer package. Like,
Yeah, he's probably my favorite art piece of the collection. Him and Scotchy, but this
I
thing-
like it a lot. Yeah, this one's
his art style is amazing. So everybody see it down there. It says Turbo 2022. Go check out. He probably has Instagram, right?
Yeah,
Go show some love and support. But then here you got the figure looking just as angry as the image. Like he's like, you let me out here, I'm gonna do something. And you put a lot of effort in the back of the packaging as well.
That's where the magic happens. When you bought a toy back then, you're sitting in the back of the seat, you're just reading it, you can't wait to open it. And that's practically the best real estate I have to tell a story. Because the whole project started like, I want to create a special toy, and to me, that resonated, or that was through storytelling. And like all my favorite toys always had a TV show, always had some sort of story element, whether it's comic, etc. So I'm like, I don't want to just make any toy. I want to make sure that these stories have rich story. So the back of the card was like a perfect place to like add some of those elements. But that's why I have all the videos that like give a little character description, you hear their voices, etc.
And you made him glow in the dark.
Classic. Yes, you're a glow in the dark fan, right?
Yep. That's a selling point.
I mean, it's like a double deuce for me. It's like you got the neon green right here. That's and then it goes in the dark. So it's like that's like my thing. I'm like, it's neon green and it goes dark. I gotta get it. You know. Now, have you tested? Does this fit on a real coffee cup?
Only the ones they sell in Miami, where you call it cafecito. It's like a cortadito, like a very small little thing, but not their full size.
Oh,
so it's a Miami exclusive.
But yeah, this figure looks awesome. The sprinkles.
I'll share it here. I'm working on variants. Like I'm trying to do him in chocolate icing with the sprinkles. Major eraser hopefully will be like a completely pink eraser and with like rub marks. Like I'm going for like realistic for each of them. So Commodore Crisp is going to be nacho flavored, and then hopefully I'll do like different variant flavors for for Commodore Crisp.
that's cool.
Scotchy, I kept on going back and forth on like what to do, but I think I'm gonna go like as if he's like all tactical out, like kind of like Splinter Cell.
That'd be pretty
I
sweet.
think that would work really well with him.
You could do like Halloween variants, make them all Halloween colored. That'd be pretty cool.
And then we got the water cooler commandos. Let's go ahead and play that little intro for these guys. If it'll work as smoothly as it did last time.
My Instagram is not sharing any of these stories, man. I keep trying to share the show. It's like refusing to.
And then let's get this going. Share the screen. And let's go full screen. And here we go. Now these are the good guys, and actually, there's the Major right on the front, right there.
Introducing the Water Cooler Commandos. This ragtag group of office supplies puts in the overtime to maintain peace. Led by the fearless Major Eraser, codename Eradicator. Supply known to never make a mistake, only fix them. Standing tall by his side is his number 2, Lieutenant Led, codename Quick Draw. Don't be fooled by his eraser head. He's as sharp as a tack and will gladly use one if he has to. Next in command is Tech Sergeant Scotchy, codename Mr. Fix-It. The commandos are only as strong as the tape that binds them, making Scotchy the perfect supply for any job. Designed to use standard issue tape rolls. Tape roll, not glue.
Hey, get to me already.
Introducing Brigadier Bouncy, codename Bouncy.
That's clever.
He's the explosive specialist.
Wait, which end was the fuse again?
Finally, Break Room Bandit Deserter Corporal Can, the eyes and ears of the operation, codename Scaredy Can.
I wouldn't say I'm scared, just allergic to conflict.
He and his nutty spies keep the commandos in sync, making those pesky bandits go bye, bye, bye. Don't get your staples all in a bunch, me lad. Choose your side as these 9 to 5 warriors battle for total office domination. Each figure sold separately. When you punch out, they come punching in.
That's,
That was
love it. That was great.
It is a very cool thing. Now, when it showed the computer guy and then like the weird the tree fort, and I think I have some of the pictures of it. Are those going to be like play sets that are coming out, or different? Like, what were you thinking with those?
Would you see besides the
You got the Macintosh, and then you got the pencil like tower.
Okay, yeah. So, Maxter is the Macintosh, and he acts as like the grand mentor of them all. You know, he's the 11th character that is mostly forgotten. He was actually plugged into the outlet that sparked them all to life. So, what's cool about him? He's gonna act like basically like a Tony Robbins, you know, giving them the life advice they need to solve the mission. On conflict.
He's the Zordon?
Yeah, exactly. He's a Zordon to the Power Rangers. And he'll always give them advice for non-conflict, and they'll, of course, never really put it to use because bandits are always going to fucking do something terrible. As far as the pencil tower, I have something in the works. It's clever. I hope people love it. It's basically, you'll hear about it soon. And I'm selling basically battle bits. And they'll allow you to connect real life office supplies and create any type of creations you want. So
That's cool. Yeah, that's really
cool.
And I love the bean guy or the peanut can guy where he has like the 3 guys. It was like first I was like, man, it reminds me of Beastie Boys, Sabotage, and then like Dragnet and all that type of stuff with the little peanut guys.
He's surprisingly like I didn't know he was probably the least favorite of like me thinking like, damn, I have to make all 10. I wish I thought about making him like because this was 12 years ago in the making, so I started off with the illustrations and the trading cards and the animation, and I thought the Can was a cool character for communication. So the good guys have a communication expert. So Peanuts are acting as the eyes and the ears of the operation. So cutting to when I was making a toy, I'm like, how the hell am I gonna make like a good toy out of a freaking can of peanuts? Like, and the first thing that came to mind was the army buckets. And so like I treated the peanuts kind of like those army men, and they're gonna be posed. And hopefully in the future there'll be like different expansion packs of just peanuts. Like they can be, any type. That's where I'll have fun with them. Like there'll be my McNuggets where they'll have different like costumes and fun things to dress with peanuts, and they all fit inside the can just perfectly.
It reminds me of army ants.
Yeah, army ants. Yeah. It's another good example, actually. Yeah.
I love my army ants.
Those were
Muscle
awesome.
Men and what they had Mercs.
Oh, Muscle Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a great idea. I was like, I didn't even think of like you releasing expansions to the little peanuts. So it's like you just have like him just sending out an army of peanut guys.
Yeah.
So starting off with the water cooler commandos, we got Major Eraser.
This design's so good.
It is that chin and the butt chin and the jawline. He's like, I am the hero.
Chewing on the cigar. I love it. It's just,
I really didn't know how people would react. I mean, this is like literally an original creation. There's no references besides probably every 80s action movie ever.
it's so awesome. It's so great.
And the
And,
fact
like-
that you put a cigar in his mouth and weren't scared to do that.
Oh, yeah.
I kept on going back and forth, and I'm like, okay, man, like Bugs Bunny walked around with a cigar half my childhood. It's all good. And
Right.
yeah, parents are buying it, so it's kind of fun.
Is his backpack like a Sharpie lid?
Yeah, so the,
That's what I thought too. I was like, did he stick
so
a
great.
what?
and all the arrows go inside of it.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love it.
So again, like just trying to use everyday items in like a creative way. Oops, sorry. And I think Scott, I think I originally had maybe like a random like woven looking backpack, like a mini quiver of anything. And Scott was like, "How about a Sharpie pen?" I was like, "That's perfect," because he had it on his desk and he like stuck it on just for reference. I was like, "Holy shit, that's awesome!" So
I mean, and you think about it, you'd probably either glue it to the back and or you'd use like the little part that hangs out the pocket, the little clip, and like squish it into the.
yeah, right now that's what's designed. It's hard to tell. Like it's in there.
Oh
It's-
yeah, okay.
It's literally molded in though, but hopefully in the. I try to make. I might add that as like I'm going back to like simplicity, so I didn't want to add too many bells and whistles and like things to get lost and complications. So I would love to, future expansions like make an ultimate version of this where it has the articulation people want and like really go ham and like create very cool accessories. And that being some of the details I would add, like actual Sharpie cap that fits in there next to it.
Cool.
Get a Major Eraser special edition that actually is made out of an eraser, has that eraser smell.
If you ever do vehicles, stapler. Just saying.
How do you stapler what?
Oh, like a stapler bike would be sweet.
That's cool. I like that.
Like a stapler bike. Make it like a red swing line, like Office Space.
I have a motorcycle concept called the Razor Cycle. It's like a mouse. So like
Oh,
you
okay.
try and then the mouse cable like acts as a whip and stuff. It's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, again, beautiful artwork.
Yeah.
Like every piece of artwork on your packages look awesome. And there it is, the figure, all his goodies. Awesome back, cross-selling all the other figures, telling you some story. We got a file card, a UPC.
File cards are great.
Guys that have those.
Yeah. That's a big miss by Classified. They should have had file cards.
They got the digital ones, scan it with your
Ooh.
phone and
Ooh, NFTs, awesome.
right. But I love how you captured that this does look like a tech right there. And I'm like, man, I was like, there probably is like a story in the comic of like a god named Brandon that just picked up a eraser and just crammed a freaking tech in it.
It would be funny if he just tripped one day and it was
Not as exciting as a Star Wars story, but
no, but it would be funny. Mostly just to me, but
Canuck ordered eraser and donut dude from Big Bad Toy Store.
nice.
very cool.
Enjoy collection. He looks like Gumby that went off to the military. Dude, that's another underrated show. I used to love watching Gumby.
Yeah.
With the blockheads.
Classic.
Yeah, man, those jerks, man.
Yeah. They were legit jerks.
Trevor saying that Major Eraser looks badass for sure.
Glad to-
KJ, I definitely need an army of peanuts. Oh, and then Canuck, D's nuts. that could be a Comic-Con exclusive. D's nuts.
He's packing nuts.
Oh man, I'm just looking at seeing what anybody else in the chat was saying. Oh, KJ Smith. Now I need a donut, dude.
He's awesome. Like I really like that one.
Mr. Wonderful saying, "Hey, unboxing our Canuck evening, dude. Smashing the like. 9 to 5 I've seen. It's cool. I don't own any yet, but I definitely has my attention for some Hexastacks. Laugh out loud. Mr. One Folds is the guy that makes Hexastacks. But yeah, this is it's just too cool. Like all of this stuff, and that's why I wanted like more people need to be aware of this stuff because again, everybody's like, I need this, I want this. It's like, yes, these are cool like characters to have on a shelf. They can accent your collection. They can start off your collection. You know, you can get your kids into it. You can each get one. You know, buy one for the child and one for yourself, so you can play together. Like it's awesome.
It's different. It's something different. Like, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there that's kind of the same, or, you know, we get very locked in, and I'm just as guilty, get locked into, you know, Marvel and video games and stuff like that. But like something new, something different, something that's, you know.
And I feel like people need to realize that like when Marvel was starting off, they weren't, you know, people weren't like, oh, it's Marvel, I got to get them. Like everybody has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of art out there and creativity, figures out there that get overlooked because of that mindset. Like we need to start diving in, looking at these independent toy makers and stuff. I mean, look at this. The artwork alone on these figures honestly trump a lot of card art that's out there right now. Not doing some 3D render model and slapping it on a box and like, oh, there it is. Like I would have this stuff framed. I hope you have originals of all these like framed in somewhere.
Yeah, they're on the wall. I appreciate that. No, it's I could see, like I do think that we're like in this golden age of like indie toys, at least experimenting out of the box. There's a lot of cool ones that are just like, again, it's so unique, and I can see that living on it as a show. But it sucks exactly that. Like a lot of people are a little hesitant to like jump into it. They don't know what they don't know, of course. And that's exactly why the bigger players, like these larger Hasbro, Mattels, etc., keep releasing things that already have a baked-in audience, keep giving you a different version of Ninja Turtle, because it is an easier sell. Like to invest in that same amount of money in a brand new IP on the ground level, and take it from me, it's freaking really hard to just get these out there. And like, I feel the first Kickstarter, I technically failed the other Kickstarter, the Big Bad Toy Store, but I still pushed through to get them made. And like now they're finally being like acknowledged and like, oh shit, this is something special. So I appreciate it.
Well, it does have it to me anyway. It really looks like there's a lot of love and care into it. So, you know, I think that will definitely make you stand out with it. Because even just looking at stuff like a lot of the mass-produced stuff, it doesn't look like it has a lot of love and care to it, even if it's stuff that's recognizable. Yeah. Like I liked the Disney toy box figures. Like the figures themselves are really cool. I don't know if you ever got into any of them or got to play with them, but the Disney toy box figures are really cool. I would go to the Disney store, they had a whole wall of them, and they have the most bland, blah, like card art. Like I only have one left on card, which is the Doctor Strange, and it's on my wall, and I'm looking at it, and it's so bland. It's bland, it's blah, it's just like whatever, red, white. There's no major artwork on it. And this, like, it's got beautiful card art. You got everything that's on the back. It's got the file card on the back. Just stuff that, like, I feel like is just not really done anymore, unless it's like a retro style, like the retro G.I. Joes will do it because it was stuff they did originally. But you know, it's just like this does look like something that jumps right out of 1996. You know, it's really cool.
Thank you, man.
And you know, it's not even just so it's like it's getting your figures, your creation out there. It's also allowing artists that might have gotten overlooked to get their art out there. You know, it's just a lot of ways where it's like all these artists basically connecting together and creating something amazing.
Yeah, that's what super cool. And on the back, you'll see the receipt. It's cleverly designed as literally everyone that was involved in the show. And I wanted to do that from the get-go, but then I was listening to a podcast with Scott Hemsley on, and this is already after I hired him for the first. So I hired Scott to do Major Eraser and Colonel Custard just for the first Kickstarter. And then, like I said, that one failed. And for a year, I was kind of like tinkering on fixing them up digitally, cleaning them up, etc. And I re-listened to a podcast with Scott, and again, this guy is behind like every single toy practically like that I grew up with and had a really special touch, including the Metalhead, which is insane, including Exo Squad, which is hands down one of my favorite cartoons and an awesome toy line. And he was saying that he like never got credit for any of them, and to this day, he's no like when you say the sculptors of Ninja Turtles, most people think of wow, I literally just have the fucking Warner Studios, and Scott Hensley, was there right there too, working on all the bad guys. Scott Warner did the four good guys and the four turtles. Scott did Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady, etc. Like all the funny, wacky ones. Those the ones he really like loved to do, and that's why it was just important to me. Like, give this man like some respect and like some more dignity. I'm a small brand, but at least if I can shine some light to him, awesome by all means. Because he stayed true to the game. He hasn't learned digital, and he's still just working on hand sculpts and like the dying art, And then everyone else, like from my logo creator to my best friend who's a director of photography, so he helped me film all those fun little features. Like I put everyone on the list that I can,
That reminds me of like Bill Finger, who created Batman with Bob Kane. And like he created like the Joker, and he created like I think it was like Catwoman, and he he was the creator of a lot of the original Batman stuff, and he just died penniless, and no one even remembered that he was like, because Bob Kane got to a certain extent, it's kind of like Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, where it's just like not necessarily always everyone gets the recognition that they deserve, which is kind of sad. I hope that this Scott, the sculptor, he sounds like he needs to be held up on a pedestal,
For real, man. Like the guy Toys on Tap, amazing guy, Abraham. After interviewing too and like just getting to know Scott, like he's like, shit, I want to create like a book of your work because there's just so much goes unnoticed. It hasn't been done yet. Like I don't know, like Scott, again, being an older man, like he's not the best tech savvy. He doesn't get back the emails as quick. His Instagram is funny too because he'll just post like a random like photo of like a character and it's just like Rhino Man. It's like, you mean, or he'll misname like a Ninja Turtle character. He's like, he just literally created these things under a contract and like put his love into it, and then like he's probably not really even attached to the full momentum of it all.
See, that would be more of you go there, meet him in person, like probably not saying everybody, but whoever's talking about the book would like go there, meet him in person, do an interview, bring a portable scanner or something and get all that stuff. So you're getting as much information and original artwork scanned in there, because that'd be awesome. I'd love to see the concept art of where his mind was creating these toys that we played with as kids.
It's on my list, and I want to actually go out there and film him, because like I said, my background is film and production. And I would just love to like interview him and also just film his studio and capture him doing his work. Like it's insane. Like you can do this by hand. It's amazing. And then like the end product, like it's really cool. I was touched by everything working with that.
And then we got our tech here. It looks like our Judd's the guy. He's missing today. But like this is like a figure of him.
He's got
the beard and the mustache.
So this character inspiration kind of was like, you're not gonna see it in here, but like the personality type of like Wildcat from Tailspin, who's like the kooky mechanic.
Nice.
Okay, yeah.
So like,
funny. He had the. Oh yeah.
So it's just like that demeanor, not the visuals per se, but like his personality is like, I love that character, and he's like that kooky guy. He's Scottish, of course, so he's got the wacky accent, and he can create anything out of anything, So he's your go-to guy. He builds all our commandos' weapons and the vehicles, fixes everything on a dime.
Is this like a Tesla coil that he made, like out of a battery and text?
So that's something that I took a photo. I created that here at home, and then took so Scotchy. Right now it's 50-50. So Scotchy was 100% digital, and it needed to be digital just to be precise and get the tape just right. And also, I was working with Seba from Planetary Dog Toys. He's done Plunderlings and a lot of other indie sculpts. Super talented guy. He's based in Spain, so this is 100% from him. And so going back, like not being able to draw, like I just grabbed the double A. I wanted it to be like a welder, so I grabbed the 3 push pins. You know, I didn't add the switch, but I told him like just add a switch here and do it in Photoshop. And voila, he recreated this in 40 minutes in digital. It was pretty awesome to work like that.
That is awesome. I like that.
Stitch tape, and he actually takes real tape inside of him. You pop up in the arms, the legs, everything, his head, everything pops off, and then you replace it with
I would
tape.
just have him hanging from a wall or ceiling with tape. Like there would be no reason not for him to be hanging from tape.
See, as a collector that has storage issues, all the characters are meant to be living somewhere outside your room. My friend took a picture of Colonel Custard chilling in his fridge. Yeah, I'm like, that's perfect. Just leaving him there. His
Yeah,
hatchet fell down.
this is the perfect desk mate. Having
Yeah.
it on your desk. Yeah.
And there he is.
That's
So it's cool to see. That was the prototype in that photo. You could just see the difference in the paint quality and everything. Those were all 3D printed back then. But it's awesome. It blew my mind when I got the finals in. And I was like, holy shit. I knew it was going to be better, but they just came out so much better. And the quality of the plastic and everything just phenomenal. I was really blown away by the factory.
So everybody that has tape at their desk at work, you need to get one of these guys. It'll make your day better.
Yep.
And then there was, I was like, bonus round, because you sent some extra photos showing off some of those other characters that we saw in the little videos. And yeah, I was looking at this, like these 2 right there. I'm like, they're in there almost like they're items that are going to be accessible at some point. So
I would love to make a base out of Maxter. His face would open up like a hinge door, the whole front half. And inside there, it would be awesome to have the watercolors layer. That's definitely once I'm acquire some crap where tooling can be taken care of, and I don't want to. I really never want to ever sell a $300 freaking vehicle or base or anything like that. I want this to be as accessible as possible forever. So hopefully down the line, Maxer and everything else can be made. That's kind of why I'm doing the battle bits idea. Is so producing toys is very expensive, and tooling is the main expense out the gate. So I figured to do vehicles, weapons, and other stuff, I can create the connection bits that you can actually use real office supply stuff that you have lying around the house and build them and keep the cost low. And you just buy pouches, battle bits, supply drops is what I'm going to probably call them. And, I don't know the price yet, but hopefully they're $15 and a couple connection pieces, and you can create that watchtower.
you can call them pick-me-ups or something like that. So thinking about working at work, man, I just need that one pick-me-up, and it's drops in. But I guess the bits, something would be similar, like these little attachments here. You would just supply your own pencils, and they'd pop in. And
yeah, I don't know can I share it on the screen or no?
Does it give you the option to?
Potentially. Let me see if I even have it already. But I would show very, very rough idea what I'm talking about.
And then as you're doing that, with sort of everybody we've seen, you got I liked how the pencils are. Wait a second. They're the same pencil, but cut in half or broken in half. That's why they're brothers. One's on one side, the bad guys, and one's on the good guys. I just noticed. I'm like, that guy doesn't have an eraser at all.
Exactly. So the story is that Alan McMillan, who's the main character, the human, his favorite pencil, the perfect supply for any job, But the office asshole, the bully, snaps it in half and it's get back to work kind of thing. And Alan, being the resourceful dude that he is, he's like, I can fix you. So he sharpened one end of Lieutenant lead, and it's still a workable pencil, like perfect supply for any job. The other end, which is number 2, you got 2 double-sided pens, and it's like, well, I can't really use it. Like, where do you fit? And plus,
So
you
he
can
gets
never really,
bitter.
yeah, and you can't make a mistake, and that like literally plays in his emotions. So he sees his perfect brother and can do anything he wants and make the mistakes freely, and he has this complex of anger, and literally named number 2. So his goal is to always try to become number 1. So even though he's on the bandit side, he barely listens to like Custer's orders. He's always looking for a way to maneuver and outshine him. But that's his character trait.
He's Starscream. He's the Starscream.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you're picking up on all those.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
I
a good
like it.
dynamics. All right, let me. So how do I share if I can?
Does it have at the bottom where it says share screen or present or?
Slides. Ooh. Your computer. Sweet. I have to upload them. Okay.
So what do you have to do?
Have to upload. Let me see.
It shouldn't be
Oh, no.
upload.
Oh, no, here, share screen. Ooh.
All right, I'll see. I'll stop screen sharing. See if it
Sweet.
pops up.
So
Oh, there it
can you
is.
see
All right, I'll let you click on it first. I see the screen before you're. I was like, I don't know if you want me to show that whole screen of all those files, and
Can you see the open file though, or is it just the file?
it looks like I just see the files.
Okay, then let me
So when you
present.
Joey collects, damn Art, look at you, all smart and shit. I was like, I just looked at the pencil, man.
All right, can you see that?
Yeah, I see that. It's 4 feathers says, see, because he used actual tape, it justifies the purchase for me because he has a purpose too. Hey, it's Rabble. How's it going, guys? We're going well, man. We're talking to Brandon from 9 to 5 Toys, talk about his action figures, which are awesome. And that screen disappeared.
I got you. Here you go. Now, whenever you're ready.
Add the stage.
So this is a very rough take on these little battle bits, but essentially with these little things, like the first one holds tape, the second one, like I'll show you. So essentially, you can create things like this. So if you look at the corners here, they look like rubber bands. They look like real life materials, and of course, you're using real pencils or pens, and they can fit practically anything.
So office supply stores are gonna love you.
Now, like, come on, Staples, get behind me, go.
I
And
mean,
it's the staple bits to like create floors. So these are all done by like 2 amazing mechanical engineer interns that I worked with over the winter break. I met them at Toy Fair. Super enthusiastic kids, super talented, and like they're telling me, their dream is to work at a toy store. Toy company. And they love Lego. And I'm like, I have a unique project for you guys. Like, and together we created this, and they're the masterminds that started like having actual fun with it. And they're like just creating random designs to just see what's possible. Like, this is awesome.
what?
Like a full-on tank catapult system.
Kids nowadays aren't gonna think of this stuff. You'd have to show
No,
them
so
like,
now
like you gotta give directions.
I will definitely have directions for core pieces. I think it's like the watchtower, 2 vehicles, and like the fort. But definitely that's the case. But the rest is like create your own play sets. And this is the way to keep it down, cost down, but still have the activity of like an awesome play set and awesome vehicles. But go to the dollar store and pick up some stuff. And then I think these are like weird, helicopter beats. So that top piece holds not only like tape dispensers, tape rolls, but also, supplies and
Plastic knives.
So that's all.
This is pretty impressive, though. Like, I gotta say, like,
This is all they're literally using 3D printed shit. Like, even the characters are 3D printed at the time. They didn't have the full on model.
That's
well, that's
still
the thing, too, is
awesome.
you can get people like I said, like customizers. Getting people involved who are like super creative with this stuff. Anyway, they're gonna want to 3D print their own setups. So
that's the end of that. World exclusive right there. Unboxing merch, Scott.
There you go. That's awesome though. Like, and again with that creativity in the mix of just keeping imaginations alive.
Yeah.
You know, and it gives a reason for any of us that are fathers that have kids. Hey, I want to get them into action figures, but it's not just getting into action figures, because kids do love building stuff. They love Legos, they like all that stuff. You
Yeah.
can then build little bases and vehicles for these characters with your kids.
Yeah. That's
Well,
the
just
cool.
people building dios. I could just see people just building like their own big dios for their sets. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the plan, man. Hopefully, I'll be able to release that maybe with the Kickstarter of the second wave, maybe like an add-on. You know, I gotta work out, like, I'm still kind of like, it's hard to fail a Kickstarter and then like you still see the demand. It's very weird. Like I get it's so odd, and I feel like I'm like a Twilight Zone, because I get DMs every day or emails saying like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to buy your figures. Oh my god, I love this." Like for years, and I'm like, "Well, buy it, man. Like, come on, I don't want to put all the guns here, but like show the support, because I need, like, especially for a big bad toy store, it was literally a zero risk. So you didn't have to pay until it was actually shipped, and I just thought it was. I don't know what happened, but there was just definitely a miscommunication between me and Big BTS. Like there's orders that just weren't going through, because again, I would get DMs saying someone ordered all 4, but then I checked BBTS and they're not there. And I'm like, I didn't tell this random person to email me. Like, this is someone from their own regard telling me how big of a fan they are. They ordered this. That happens so many times. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But that was in the past, and like thankfully now it's actually people are showing up and they're selling out, and it's thankfully
it doesn't help that, like, you know, you had some people that get a Kickstarter and people would back it and it'd get funded, and the people that just haven't seen figures. And then you also have, you know, other people within the community. They're like, oh, well, I don't mess with or support this because I don't ever heard of them. I don't know anything about it. I don't know the quality of it, you know, and they start, you know, putting that sour taste out there. So then a lot of people are like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. It's like, damn, people need to realize that how Kickstarters actually work and how pre-orders work, and, you know, stuff like that. Now,
I know,
all these figures.
Well, definitely, I know that there's people out there who are just like, it's daunting to do a Kickstarter. Like it's something that they don't, because they don't know how they work a lot of times, and you know, and unrealistic expectations always. There's always that. I could see a lot of people, because I was one of those people years ago. Someone told me to get in on a Kickstarter, and I was just like, I don't do the Kickstarter. It's not on a shelf. I can't just walk in and get it off a shelf. And to a certain extent, I still want to just go in and buy it off of a shelf somewhere.
No, it's a big gamble. Like, just, I mean, there's been also toy stores toy companies that just don't deliver, whether they have manufacturing issues. Like, I don't blame them. It's this initial where I started, I was like, I still have trauma from that. Like, I want to do the next Kickstarter, but I'm like, I want to make sure that it gets through, and I'm gauging again from these interactions I have daily. Parents DMing me or emailing me, this is such an awesome product. Grown man telling me, you inspired me, I want to get my own toy. Like, I love this. Holy shit, this brings me back to my childhood. Like, over and over. I'm like, okay, there's something special going on, but I'm like still a little hesitant to do it.
I would say just do it when you're comfortable. I mean, we've all seen, you know, Valaverse, their first Kickstarter didn't hit. Now look at them. You got Plunderlings there doing well. And then you even had, what was it? The Fist. I don't know if you're following Fist action figures. It didn't. Right. It didn't go through, but then now it's like, look at him. He had his release in Colombia of his figures. He's still pushing through with it. So it's like we can make it work. But I can understand, like, you have that point where, like, man, it's like you got to keep pumping them out, and you're like, I got it. You know, you don't want to keep failing in a sense where it makes you feel like you're like, what am I doing wrong and stuff. And it's like, honestly, I would say you just make sure you're getting it out there, you know, let people see this awesome creation. I mean, you got other companies that are doing what Boss Fight was doing, like Barnyard Commandos and all that type of stuff. So it's like, here, this is the new generation of your food fighters, but they're office supplies and snacks. Like, we just got to get that awareness out there.
Yeah, and thanks to shows like this, like I feel like there's been a good press tour going on, and like people are getting their hands on it. That's awesome word of mouth. Like I'm positive that the next one will go through. And I'm just getting on my
Little-
best to-
I mean, look at this little adorable peanut guy. He's
Who doesn't want-
eavesdropping. And again, just fun stuff just to have around your room, your office, your house. Like you can really you could just have them around your house, and the wife can't say anything because they're like, "Hey, these aren't really toys. You know, that's a pencil technically. You know,
We take this into they promise.
right?
I think it does. I think it does help that getting more and more people like in hand. If there's one in hand, I feel like going forward, Kickstarters have a better shot too.
Yeah.
Kind of like with Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Like
Yeah, they're doing great.
the minute I saw the pictures for it, and I was like, yeah, those look pretty cool. Then I got one in hand, and it was like, okay, like
Yeah.
you know. And I think that's what it is if you can push through to get some, yeah. Like if you can push through to get some in people's hands. Also, I think it will kind of like massage it into people, like we're not screwing you. You're going to get something type of thing. You know, like this is a real thing. So there are, you always hear the horror stories. You always hear the like no one came through on it or what, you know, like, and it's isolated in certain situations where someone doesn't get something, but you know, when people are getting it in hand and it's really good, that I think that helps all future Kickstarters.
Yeah, and it's like it's not just like all right, get it in hand, but it's like they gotta, you know, voice it out throughout the communities. Because I mean, you're a vintage collector. It's like you may not get into certain groups that are not really as vintagey; they're more modern, and it's like all these collectors are just interwoven through all these groups and TikTok and all that stuff, and it's just like it's just getting it out there to where like, hey, if you were a kid of this and you grew up in this era and or you just want to have some fun figures, like these are it. And it's, you know, again, just getting that awareness out there. But with the Kickstarter, do it where you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and just make sure that when you go to do it, just don't do it when another big one's doing a Kickstarter. Because I've seen some Kickstarters not do well because, hey, this other one came in and is taking the glory of it, you know?
Absolutely.
Well, even the biggest, I mean, you see the HasLabs fail. You see, I mean, not just, it could be any, you know, I feel like it could be anybody at any time. Like you could hit or you don't.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
So, and I did this next slide because I was going to say, like, do we want to see character video intro videos? But we sort of saw those.
Yeah, they're the same in the full. Yeah. They're just spliced up to be individual stories if they needed to
And
be.
we talked about them, guys, but you know, 9 to 5's Instagram probably has all of those, and also comic book. You have a comic,
Yeah.
with again some awesome stylized artwork, which is badass.
This artist is Michael Anderson.
Look
I
at
think
those
his Instagram-
schnozzes on all these guys.
I forget his comics Mikey. I forget. It's on my Instagram, and it's him. You see the comic book tag him.
Now, this is sold separately, or is it
Yeah,
like,
the comic books are sold separately, and they're available. I think they're sold out on BBTS. They're available on my site. I just got a new fresh batch.
and I'll make sure to have your link in the description. Everybody needing 9 to 5, yes, you can get them at Big Bad, some at Big Bad Toy Store if you're feeling comfortable, or just go straight to the source. Straight to the source.
Yeah.
I always aim to recommend because, again, it's more money for the creator to help invest back into the company.
BBTS is technically sold out of Scotchy, Commodore Crisps, and I think they're low on custards.
Yeah, see, they just need to be hitting you up now. Be like, hey, we need to buy another stock of them, you know?
That's why I love it. That's why I don't mind wherever you buy them. I'm happy. Just get them. It's
Yeah,
fun.
the artwork in the comic looks clean, looks good. You know, when I
Yeah.
saw the cover art, you know, doing a little bit of art myself. And then speaking of, we got Ted of Hella Dope Toys here.
Oh, hella dope. Play it.
I mean, I want to play it because this is all about 9 to 5. I want to be playing you know. But Ted, Brandon, Ted, you guys should talk. Because he has hella dope toys where he sells like action figures through his site and everything like that. So, but anyway, this artwork was awesome because when you go to like when I get comics or I'm looking at comics, what I really don't like is the fact that you get a comic, the artwork is this way on the cover, and you open it up and it's a turd, but it's not a turd with this. It's actually nice, clean, pretty consistent, and it looks good. And that's, yeah, I'm going the wrong way. And that is basically what we got. I don't know if I missed anything else that you can think of. I don't want to eat up all your time. I already ate up an hour and 35 minutes of it.
Let me see if I right there he is, Mirror. That's the lunchbox. Let me get it.
Wait, there's a lunchbox? Did I forget?
What?
So it couldn't be a 90s inspired toy line with that, you know, the
What?
thermos.
What?
It has a thermos?
Yeah.
What?
So you sell a comic, a thermos, and action figures.
That's all. Oh, that's so
Shut
good.
up, man.
And unfortunately, the wax packs are sold out. But this was one of the things I first started with. Again, the story was important to me. Like this was just an easy way back then to get the stories up before the toys. And these just had the classic feel to them. Like I'm mad that I can't get the same factory to produce them again. But I created fun shit like lunch boxes and cereal box. So
That's cool.
So like you could put it together and that could be like a barrier for when you're battling and stuff like that.
But yeah, the lunchbox and thermos are currently on pre-order right now. These are already being made and they come in to the US probably early May. I'm sorry, mid to late May.
And what is that run usually for the lunchbox and thermos?
These are like 29. So it's the average price for a lunchbox and thermos. Nowadays.
Yeah.
That's really
Looks
cool.
like it could take a beating too. Artwork is
Yeah.
awesome.
And then the actual plastic thermos that works just like the big ones.
Nice. That's always what's missing. Is like
Does
you
that have the
always
little
see-
flip up part to it where you drink out of it, or how's it?
Yeah. Oh no, it's
You
missing
have to
that.
pour it in the cup.
That I wish. That was the one thing they didn't still make. I think the original company Aladdin probably copyrighted some or patented patents on all that shit because it was
Okay.
impossible to find. It took me forever to find a manufacturer to do that. So like I was so happy
That's
to find
That's
that.
clean as hell. Like when you said that, I'm like, what? And then I heard the rattling in the metal. I'm like, he didn't even go plastic with it.
It's legit,
So-
and it's cool because it stores the figures, at least the ones that are made now. I don't know about all 10 until I get all 10 because like, Spore is a big guy; he'll fit in there. But like Spore plus Corporal Kane, who's another big guy, I don't know if they all fit in. It'd be sick if they all do.
I was just thinking of using it like a real. You can use it as a real lunch box to work. I mean, why not? Like,
That's awesome.
I used
or
to
buy it
collect
too.
boxes, and most of the time when you see lunch boxes, they don't got that thermos. So that's why I was like, oh man, has it got the thermos? Oh, it got the
Stand
Yeah,
no
that's-
expense.
That is freaking awesome. But all right, let's see if anybody in the chat has any questions. Everybody saying hello to Ted. Oh, and Joey Collect says, "Yo, this is a whole experience. This is pretty incredible. Figures, thermoses, lunchbox commercials. It's the time and effort put into this. Awesome to see. Yeah,
Thank you, man.
that is true. That is true.
Yeah, the cereal boxes were cool. I treated them kind of like, well, they were first gonna be. So I started this 12 years ago, and I was experimenting on how to make a toy, and the designer art scene was really big back then. Nobody was really making independent toys except for Four Horsemen. They were like just breaking into the scene, if anything. Well, they've been around for years, but they were breaking into the scene with, Mythic Legions, Wave, whatever at that point. And some Instagram creators were making like their own little minifigs and stuff, and then OMFG was popular. So I tried to make my own toy back then, and the cereal box was designed and everything ready for the toy, and that was supposed to be the packaging for it, like the free prize inside, and it was not going to be painted or anything, a solid color. And the artist kind of just flaked on me, took my money, disappeared. So I was like, let me just repurpose it as the hobby box pack set for the wax packs. So that's kind of came into double use, and it's
So the cereal box had the wax pack in it.
yeah, 5 of them. So you
Oh,
buy
man.
like a hot box or something.
I thought the cereal box came in the thermos thing. I was like, oh, you get the little thing with it, and like, oh, they're two separate. Damn.
I have been right. It's too late now, but last month I was throwing them into every order that I fulfilled myself. So if you ordered a comic book directly on my site, you actually got that as a special treat for ordering it directly. You no longer
See,
do-
guys, see what happens when you order straight from the source.
They're super limited and will never be made again. At least like that.
Go right to 9 to 5. Get it.
9 to 5. Everybody is. Did I miss any questions? Oh, just everybody saying Big Bad only had the donut dude and a racer guy. What? I got a squad of 10 Blue Boys fighting one McFarlane Gene Stealer on my shelf. He needs some backup because he's talking about the peanuts. Yeah, everybody's quiet, and I think everybody's asleep. But so, all right, so you're gonna aim for a Kickstarter second one, and besides the one figures that we've seen, do you just have this like giant sketchbook of like all these like crazy creative ideas of characters, or are you sort of waiting like doing the comic and building characters throughout the comic, or how is that working?
I do have a small backlog of characters that after this core set. However, I really want to start getting into collaborating with artists. So different artists will create a different character, and then if that can get fundraised, and I'll do polls and stuff, and that'd be like a fun way to just work with new artists and get. There's also like, there's been like one-off figures here and there scattered. I've collected, throughout the 10, 12 years, and I'm like, damn, this is like a one artist figure, like a designer art choice. And someone just like, let me just do it. And it had no story, had no branding, no nothing. So if I can bring those back out and attach it to the world, that'd be awesome to give it like a second life to these these unknown figures and these really talented artists. But the next waves, yeah, I'm just focused on the next 6 to complete the full 10 of the 5 versus 5. And then from there, it was like literally just having fun and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, it almost seems like you just have like, once you get those initial 10 characters out, your imagination is your limit, really. You can just do whatever you want. You're like, this be a cool character. Let me just start slapping this together. Or you'd be going to like walking past like a food court or something. I don't even know if people eat at food courts in the mall anymore. But if you walk past that, see some kid with this food doing something, you're like, hey, that could be a character right there,
Yeah, I'm stoked about that. Like, there's so many ideas. Like, I can't wait to explore.
So we just got to make sure everybody goes to 9 to 5. Link will be in the description. Support it, order some stuff. And also, once this Kickstarter goes, I'm sure he'll let me know, and we will alert everybody so you guys can all jump on that as well and keep this 9 to 5 alive. Wow, that rhymed. It was like Johnny 5 alive, like 9 to 5 alive. And but yeah, still everybody's sort of watching and not saying anything except for Ted saying Joey collects. But that's good enough for me. Anything, Paul, that you can think of? Any questions that you have?
I'm wondering. So you got the comic book, you got the figures, you've done the lunchbox, and you're looking to do a TV show. You're actually going to do like a cartoon. Is this something web based, or are you're trying to?
No, thankfully there's interest. Everything with the Hollywood actors strike and animation studios kind of slowing down. There's been a halt. However, the good news is that there's interest, and the time is now. There's networks that are actively looking for the kidult, I hate that word, but content for the, people like us that are still Toys R Us kids that never grew up. I like that still. It's the marketing fucking work back then.
Yeah, I enjoy my adventure time and Amazing World of Gumball and all that type of stuff. So
Oh yeah, because this is definitely something I could see this being like Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Like,
What's cool is like, yeah, and I love So this was originally created like I wanted it to be, I don't want to say cutesy and stuff, but like I definitely wanted for the kids growing up, you know. But then obviously the target demographic just kept on saying adults and adults and adults, and it became more gritty, and that's why the comic book was an experiment of like this is the adult looking version of that. And
Yeah.
it's just I like that. I do believe it has the flexibility to be anything. I mean, that's what Ninja Turtles was pretty cool. It started off as like a very graphic comic. We got a super colorful cartoon, and at the same time, a kind of gritty and live action film. So there's like two things going on at once, and that's what was awesome about the property. And I hope mine can.
I just think that because it could. I mean, I feel like it could be on Adult Swim or something like that too, and work. Even if it is like, even if it does seem kind of kiddie, you know, because it's just fun. It doesn't like you can kind of just have you could just kind of have anything on Adult Swim or on like a Cartoon Network. You know, I just feel like it would just be. It could be late at night, and someone would still enjoy it from our demographic, and or you could put it on in the middle of the day. Because it doesn't necessarily have to be about sex and drugs and craziness, you know, or be overly filthy. It could just be like, you know, it could be tongue in cheek, and it's still just like, you know, like you brought up like Gumball, or you brought up, or if you ever watched like what was the other one, Gravity Falls on Disney, where it was just kind of like kids will like it, but adults will look at it and go, you know. That's
Or
cool.
even Regular Show. That's another one.
Regular Show is another one, or Adventure Time type of thing. You know,
Look at your thumbnail for the show. It's like a grittier looking graphic. I'm like, hey, you could go either way, man. Whatever. To me, it's story that matters. So as long as it's a good story, that's where I'll put my love and attention into. If I'm still able to like work with the writers, whatever. But that's what will bring in the right people, you know.
yeah.
Joey Collects. This is definitely a '90s cartoon waiting to happen.
Thank you.
Four Feathers saying, "Where can I get Sergeant Scotchy?"
95warriors.com.
And then Joey Collects is smart. He says, "Your local Staples next to the tape, Four Feathers." All right.
I need to get Staples on board. Be a distributor. It's like right there on the checkout line next to the Scotch tape.
I mean, why not? Like, if they should, I mean, it draw in some more styles into their stuff, because don't they do like a back to school stuff where they'll set up all the college-y stuff? It's like, who wouldn't in college want a weird little Scottish man that can hang around and stuff? It's just like it's a talking piece, you know.
Definitely.
Or the next one is like, if it's for college, you got a bottle opener, you know. It's a figure, but it actually will open your beverage.
That's awesome.
Joy Collects says you're better than Staples. Talk to Office Max.
Oh,
All right. So we've kept you for an hour and 47 minutes, and I do appreciate you taking that time. And I'm sure you have a pregnant wife to get to. You probably need to eat some food. You need to do all that.
Yeah.
And I do thank you for that time coming on, talking about your figures. I think they're awesome. And I want everybody to actually take the time, go check them out, look into them, look at your collection in your room and see if it's something that'll fit in. Because, I mean, the example being, I have all this stuff, but I still have, I got this random Mr. Potato Head, like with, I think it's like a Darth Vader piece and just mixed up stuff. Like, sometimes you just got to do that with your collection, So look at it, see where you can fit some 9 to 5 in. Go check it out. Show some love, and let's keep this imagination alive. There's not many imaginations out there and that creativity. So let's try to make it happen. So I do thank you, Brandon, for taking the time coming on State of the Art. Much appreciated. Paul, you were late, so you can go eat home. And everybody, you guys know where to find everybody. The people that aren't here, you'll see them next week, I'm sure. And again, go check out 9 to 5. Go show some love. And I want you guys, as always, to have the best luck hunting. Keep on collecting. Have a beautiful day.
Peace.